Om Shri Sat Shri. I bow down the holy lotus feet of true Guru, whose words of wisdom are like mighty sunbeams to dispel the darkness of ignorance. True Guru, beneficence personified, takes the disciple to meet the Supreme Being. I offer the humblest obeisance to him. Again, blessed is Guru, whose glory is indescribable. Whatever little I could or would say is only because of his most compassionate faith. Oh, hello viewers. Namaste, Jai Guru, Vahe Guru, Radha Swami, Satya Ram. I am here with the 18th episode of the series of Santmat Satsang talks in English. In the previous episode, we had recorded a brief summary of the three states that we daily pass through and the resultant change in our states and awareness. And we had seen that it is possible through conscious means to move beyond these three natural states into the fourth state of awakening that is known as Turiya. And one who ascends into the domain of Turiya, his mental abilities, his mental illnesses, his mental defilements get purified, and as he moves deeper and deeper, higher and higher, his mind not only becomes purified, but it loses its existence, it lives in higher levels. In order to understand what we have to do, what is the nature of our journey to our ultimate destination, we had seen that we have to have a good understanding, thorough understanding of the design or structure of the creation of the nature made by the Almighty God, so that we could know at where do we lie currently and whither we have to go. If we understand all the important milestones or regions that we'll have to go through, will have to cross, then we will be in a better position to understand the method, the technique of meditation, and we will be able to understand the rationale of the method that has been advocated by sages as to why those methods of inner meditation have to be practiced. So for all that, we'll have to look at the schema of construction, of formation of the various stages, of the various layers of nature or creation as was made by art. And to start with, we had seen a brief, we had a brief look at the schematic diagram that shows how the microcosm is contained in the macrocosm, how the drops are contained in the ocean, and at the same time, how macrocosm is also inherent, is contained within the microcosm, how the whole ocean is packed in small droplet. There are several such diagrams available around us, but the one I would base my discussions upon is the one that was conceptualized by Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Maharaj and sketched by his eminent disciple Maharshi Santsevi Paramhans. So let us move to that diagram and try to see its salient features. So I'm sharing my screen. Please. I hope this slide is visible to you. So we are into the 18th part of our talks, and this is the second part that would be discussing the various realms or regions or spheres or planes of Turiya, that is the fourth state. We had seen that the fourth state, its extent is very vast, pretty vast, as it starts from the 10th gate, 10th door or Agya Chakra, and it ends where the Supreme Sovereign lives in his purest form. So, in between the gross layer of creation and the God, whatever lies in between is the fourth state called Turiya. Now, as I have told you, there are number of diagrams that have been proposed by, say, different schools. The essence of that, if we try to capture, we'll find it is the same. Though there may be variations in the words used, in the semantics, but the very essence of all those talks is, all those diagrams is the same, one and the same. This is the original sketch that was, as already informed, conceptualized by one of the eminent gurus in the tradition of Santmat, Sadguru Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Maharaj, who was born in 1885 and who made his departure, grand departure, in 1986. So he lived on this mortal plane for more than 101 years. And he worked diligently to strike the chord of unison between the sacred scripture on the one hand and the sayings of the saints. He worked very hard. He went through all the Vedas, Upanishads, Purans, and various other religious scriptures, important scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavad Puran, and then he also collected, compiled the verses of or sayings of all the true sages or sants. And by compiling all those things together, he showed beyond doubt that all of them, all the sacred scriptures, as well as the sants, they sing in unison. They say the same thing, they preach the same thing. They all try to propagate the firm belief in the existence of one only supreme being, and all of them advocate that this human birth that has been given to us, its prime objective is to realize that supreme sovereign within us. Now, this diagram tries to capture as say, because the original say sketch was in Hindi, which our English speakers might find it difficult to follow. Uh, it was say very briefly translated into English, as you can see, by uh, one of the Indians who went on to settle and reside in United States and was married to Don Howard, that is Mrs. Veena Howard, has translated say a few books of Maharshi Mehi and Santsevi Paramhans also. So this is a diagram which was made by her, but this say shows only very important things of say the original diagram, and it is very much summarized so that it misses many of the important points that have been that were sketched by the original authors. So I tried to encapsulate the very essence of the original by constructing this sketch, okay, schematic sketch. And as I told in previous episode, even then I could not pack all the information that was there, that is there, original sketch. So I have tried to say show most of them over here. So we'll be basing our discussion this, but before that, say let me just take you quickly to some of the other diagrams which are available on the web, as you can see, okay, the creation according, and most of them are by different sects of Radha Swami tradition. So as you can see, these are by various sects of Radha Swami, and you will find that there is difference in terms used. Okay, there might be some difference in the way they have been represented, and most importantly, sometimes you will find that there is some confusion in capturing the essence of the say, basic teachings of the true sense. And what I think the main reason of that is because all these diagrams were made later when the originator, when the founder, after whom this sect came to be named, Sant Radha Swami, was Mumu. And therefore, say there might be some differences that might have crept in. Otherwise, I have gone through much of the teachings and verses of Sant Radhaswami, and they are very much in consonance with the teachings of all the earlier sons and the future sons also. So, as I said, basically all of these diagrams are the same. But because I am the most conversant and familiar with this sketch, so I'll be basing my talks on this one. And one more reason was that this diagram was prepared in the supervision of and as conceptualized and suggested by the original sage himself, Maharshi Mehi Paramhans. He conceptualized everything and he instructed his disciple Maharshi Santsevi Paramhans to prepare this sketch. It was prepared under his supervision and he checked every details of this, and therefore this has that air of authenticity around it. So this is another reason why I am use this sketch. Of course, I don't intend to mean that others are not as authentic. But as I said, I am more conversant with this. I'm familiar with this. Therefore, I will use this diagram, discuss whatever I have to this and the subsequent talks. Now, as you can see, here it says what is the title of this diagram sketch? It says Anant Me Sant. That means that finite within infinite, and then it says Sant Me Anant. That is infinite within finite. Again, it says Brahmand Me Pind. Pind means microcosm or body, and Brahmand means macrocosm or universe. So, microcosm in macrocosm, and again it says Pind mein Brahmand. That is the macrocosm or universe within the microcosm or body. And it is a Sanketik Chitra, that is symbolic sketch of showing, illustrating this concept that there is finite within infinite, but at the same time, the infinite is also there within every finite. And our current state where we are is below the eyes. It is here. Is say we are all the time in the 9 gates or 9 doors. We have discussed it on here occasions also. There are 9 doors, 2 of eyes, 2 of ears, 2 of nose, 1 of mouth, and 1 each for say excreting urine and stool. So these are 9 doors, and all of these open outwardly. But there is another 10th door which lies within, hidden within us, and which opens inwardly. 9 doors open outwardly. Whenever they open, they allow us to gather knowledge of the outside world. Through our eyes, we see what is there in the outside world. Through our ears, we listen to the sounds that are there in the outside world, and so on with nose, tongue, say skin. So, but the 10th door, it opens inwardly and it opens into the divine. So that 10th door is the interface between the gross universe outside and the various inner universes, starting with the subtle or astral region and moving further deeper, and it goes on. So from the 10th door, it starts. What starts? The 4th step, that is the Turi. And all these layers that we see, various layers, they are that of the Turiya state. And as you can see here, the first two, this is Sahasrar or 1000 petaled lotus. Yes, the 1000 petaled lotus, Sahasrar or Sahasradal Kamal. Kamal means lotus, Dal means petal, and Sahasra means 1000. So there we see lights, several lights, as if say 1000 petaled lotus has blossomed. So hence this region has called 1000 petal lotus, and just above or within it is the Trikuti, 3 peaks. And these two regions, they taken together, they constitute the subtle or astral universe. I'm just going very quickly and then we'll have a detailed discussion. So from 10th door up to the Trikuti, that is the 1000 petaled lotus and 3 peaks, they lie in the subtle or astral region. And above or within the subtle region is the causal region. There again we have got 2 major divisions. As you can see, if I move on to my translated version, then you will be able to see also, read also, and it will be easier for me. So as you can see, from this red to this red line, this is subtle. or Sukshma or astral sphere. And this can be broadly subdivided into two regions, that is Sahasrar and Trikuti, thousand little lotus, and and above or below, say within that, again there is another layer or sphere, that is causal sphere. This is astral or subtle sphere, and this is causal sphere, also known as Dharana Mandal. Okay. And this can be subdivided in two regions, broader regions, that is Shunya or void, and say this is Mahashunya. Maha means greater or great, so this is greater void. These are two layers of the causal sphere. For a change, in Radhaswami literature, this Shunya or void has been referred to as Dasmadwar. Dasmadwar means the 10th door. So I'll explain, we'll come to it. We'll find there are certain differences in descriptions, okay, in different places. But let that not desist us from understanding the very essence of. And beyond this causal sphere lies the supracausal sphere, that is Mahakarana. It is also known as rotating cave or whirling cave or Gufa. And this is the zone where all the three attributes lie in a state of perfect equilibrium. So this is also known as threefold equilibrial primordial nature. Is say from here, that is from supracausal up to the our current gross world. All this is broadly considered as one nature, that is say called as inert or non-conscious nature. Jada Prakriti. Jada means non-conscious or inert, that which does not have a consciousness of its own. And above this non-conscious nature or a Jada Prakriti, we have got Chetana Prakriti, which is known as conscious sphere or sphere of pure consciousness. And here we get that primordial vibration, primordial unstruck vibration. We have seen that the all other sounds or vibrations that exist in the nature, all whole of the nature, they are struck. They are called ahat, struck, because they are produced because of striking, because of collision, because of rubbing between two or more. But this unstruck melody, unstruck primordial vibration, this has directly issued forth of God, from God. This directly emanates from God, and this is the of God. You can see it lies even beyond conscious nature. It doesn't mean to say that God is present in all these. God is immanent in all the whole of nature. The whole of nature is within him, and he is within the whole of. But where all the nature ends, because the creation is finite and the creator is infinite. So where all the creation ends, that is beyond or within conscious creation, conscious sphere, lies God in his pure state, which is neither attributed nor attributeless, which is neither inert or non-conscious nor conscious. It is infinite, unborn, and ever present, always present. So this is the state, this is our destination. because this is what we truly are. Each one of us in our truest elements is God. All of us are God. And this is our ultimate or original abode or say residence. But fortunately, we have fallen a great distance below and we have come here. So currently, we live with our body, cross body, in the cross universe. So we have come far away from our own original. And this is the journey that we have to traverse in order to realize who we truly are, who we really are, what is our true nature, what is our original own residence. So that will be known only if we have traveled, we have traversed all these regions of, and that is the real technique or method of meditation which enables us to journey through all these various layers of nature and finally takes us beyond nature to merge into and become one with that supreme. So this is our current state. This is where we currently are living, and this is where we have to go. So this is the starting, this is where we live, and our journey has to start from here, and our destination lies. That is why I said that unless and until we understand this whole design of creation of nature, it will not be possible for us to understand, digest, and be rationally convinced with the methods of meditation that we need to adopt, that we need to practice. Our current human body, as you can see in the original diagram, here it consists of, say, 6 chakras. A chakra means a wheel which rotates. Okay. So these are psychic or yogic wheels that represent some important points, okay, in our body, which lie along our spinal cord and which are actually centers of energy, pranic energy, and which control how energy flows. The 5 chakras are there below the eye, and that starts with the first one, the lowest one, that is known as Mooladhara Chakra. Okay, that is the say base chakra or the root chakra. It lies say somewhere near. Physically, if we try to correlate all these, they are not physical parts, they are yogic parts, or say they cannot be captured, they cannot be detected by any of the physical implements that we might have, that our doctors or technicians, because they are subtle centers of G. So a correspondence with the physical places in body is suggested just to make us understand. So the bottom or the root chakra, it lies close to our anus. And there it is said that Kundalini, the power, it lies as a dormant state, stays there. So this is the first chakra, root chakra, or it is also known as base chakra, or it is known as Muladhara chakra, or anus chakra, and the controlling deity, that the deity or demigod that lives over here is Lord Ganesh. Ganesh. And then next, just above this, the other cycle, the other wheel or chakra, that is, this is known as Swadhisthana chakra or Ling Chakra, sacral chakra. So this corresponds to, physically corresponds to our regenerative organs, right? Male as well as female. And because this is from where these are our reproductive organs, which are responsible for reproduction or creation of similar identical. And in Hindu literature, the say the God responsible for the creation has been assigned with the responsibility of creating the universe, okay, of say giving birth to different types of creatures is Lord Brahma. So this Ling Chakra is associated with Lord Brahma, who is responsible for generation, for giving birth, or for bringing creation. And above this Ling Chakra lies the Nabhi Chakra. Nabhi means navel or navel. Okay, so this is known as Nabhi Chakra, or this is also known as Manipurak Chakra. And as we know that when a fetus is within the womb of a mother, then it gets all its nourishment through a cord, navel cord, which is connected to this navel. Okay, so because it is from here that all the nourishment goes to the fetus, the child that remains captive within mother's womb. So this is say considered responsible for sustenance of life or growth of life, and the deity who is assigned the role of say taking care of the creation which has been made by Brahma is Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is said to reside in his third chakra, or and above that is the heart chakra, heart or Hridaya chakra, or this is also known as Mahat chakra. And this is the place where Shiva lives. Okay, Shiva is the god, or Shankar is the god who is invested with the third power. One is creation, another is sustenance, and third is destruction. So Shiva lives or is associated with this fourth chakra, and the fifth one is this throat chakra or kantha chakra, or it is also known as Vishuddha chakra. Okay, and it is here that our vocal cords are here, which helps us in speaking. So, in Hindu scriptures, in say in Vedic literature, Vedic religion, the goddess which is in whom is invested all the power of learning, speech, music, etc., is goddess Saraswati, who is responsible, is known as Vag Devi, that is the goddess of speech, goddess of music, goddess of learning. So therefore, this chakra is we associated with goddess Saraswati. These are the five chakras, right? Up to and above this, that is here you can say our spinal cord is coming to end, and at the top of it lies sixth chakra, which whose position is set to in the midst of the eyes. Schematically, just to show its physical correspondence, it actually isn't there. Where it really is can be known only to the one, only to the practitioner of the inner meditation. He will know its real position. But to make us understand, to simplify things, said that sixth chakra corresponds with the meeting point of our nose and the eyes. That is, it lies in the midst of eyes where nose meets. And this sixth chakra is the most important chakra for us, the followers of Sant, the practitioners of Raj Yoga. Those who practice Hatha Yoga, they meditate on each of these five lower chakras, and finally they reach up to the sixth chakra, that is Agya chakra or Sushumna or third till or tenth door or third eye or the single eye, etc. etc. So they, after meditating on each one of these five chakras, finally come. But in Raj Yoga, which is advocated and taught by Santmat, we begin our meditation on that is sixth chakra. I think in some of my previous talks I had told that this is known as Agya Chakra. Chakra means wheel and Agya means permission. That is one who is able to concentrate on this sixth chakra and all of his consciousness collecting from all the places of the body, it gathers in a single point in sixth chakra, and he transcends from the gross body into the astral or subtle body, from gross universe into the astral or subtle universe. And it is as if he has received, he has been granted permission by the Supreme Lord that you are welcome into divine, my God's realm, as has been by Bible also, that the kingdom of heaven lies, so that lies within the sixth. We enter into that divine realm or the Turiya or the fourth state only after we have meditated upon this is sixth chakra. And then as we see that say up to the supracausal region, starting from gross universe up to the supracausal, all this is Jada Prakriti or inert nature or non-consciousness. And this is also attributed nature. Okay, the nature with three attributes, this is. Okay, as you can see that the gross universe that we live in is, here also there are all the three attributes, namely Sat, Raj and Tam. Okay. But this region, as you can see, it is said to be a realm which is dominant in Tamo Gun, that is ignorant or darker propensity. Why it is, say, symbolized with darkness, why darkness is used to characterize the universe that we live in, it is because if we are in darkness, we are not able to see what lies around us, what things, what all things are there near us. Cannot see them if it is complete. Similarly, all this subtle causal sphere, supracausal sphere, consciousness, and God Himself, all of them are very much here itself, but we are not able to see them. Even though all of them are present, but with these eyes, we are not capable of detecting their presence. And therefore, it has been compared with darkness, with ignorance, because we cannot see what exists. Our state can be compared to that of a blind one, that a blind one cannot see even that which really is lying in his front. Similarly, the whole divinity, the whole universe is replete with His presence, but still we cannot see. So that is why it has been compared with this state in living in this particular universe. It is characterized ignorance, darkness of, and therefore this has been said to be a realm that is that dominates, that is dominated by Tamo Guna. And this still region, it here it is dominated by the worldly or sensual passion, that is Rajogun. We will see about this a bit later in our say, subsequent talks. And then this causal sphere, these two parts of the causal sphere, here we find that is, say, Rajogun is better than Tamo, and Satogun is even better. So here you can see, as we go on rising above and above, higher and higher, we say we get more and more purified. Our defilements go on reducing in the same proportion. And you can see that this causal sphere, it is dominated by Satogun, that is virtuous tendency, purity, righteousness, goodness. This prevails to a greater extent in this region. And when we go beyond this, here as told that here also all the three gunas are there, all the three attributes are there, but they lie in state of perfect because they are in perfect equilibrium. So all counteract each other, and as a result, no activity and no activity is possible where all the three attributes are in say perfect. This is a state where the scope is there, the potential is there, but the action does not exist. And once we go beyond this, then we move beyond the attributed nature, beyond the say inert nature, and we into the what is called as the conscious nature, where no guna, no attributes exist. It always lies in same uniform, constant, no change takes place there. And this is known as conscious sphere. Why? Because once we are here, we become conscious of the presence of God. It is by coming here that we get to get a clear glimpse of God. So this makes us conscious of our own self, true self, or of God. So that is why it is said to be the sphere of consciousness, pure consciousness. But as we have seen, that somebody might question that you are talking so much. Are you talking just being devoid of consciousness? Can an inert being talk? And can an inert being hear, listen, and understand? So how it can be said that this is an inert level of creation. All these are inert level of creation, unconscious levels of creation. We have say delved or discussed all this topic in detail in some of our episodes. So you can get back to them to have a sound understanding. But in today's talk, I'll just say make a mention of the fact that if something lies above, it does not mean that it does not lie below. Whatever is lying, say at any position, it is there in its pure state, and it is also present in all the realms that lie below it. That is God, you can see, he lies in the highest state. So here he exists in his purest state, but it is not that he is absent. He is present in all these conscious and non-conscious nature. Similarly, this conscious nature, okay, it cannot move higher than its position. So conscious nature is absent in God, but God is present in consciousness. All these layers of non-conscious nature, they lie below conscious nature. So conscious nature, it is present in all these layers of conscious nature also. and it is its presence that enables them, that drives them, and that makes them behave as conscious beings. So this I'll try to explain by this, say this schematic diagram that I tried to sketch and to explain the concept, but I think, say, we have talked enough. I did not say see the starting time, so I don't know for how long I have talked, but I think that we have talked for, say, reasonable duration. So what does this diagram indicate? And what does it mean when I say that all higher layers of creation, they are very much present in all the lower layers, and that the lower layers cannot be present in the layers that lie above them. So we'll try to have a look at this and then other points which remain to be discussed in some of our future talks. I will try to come back with as soon as possible. Actually, say there are certain preoccupations that keep me engaged, and I cannot give as much time as should be given, and I should be coming back with as a greater frequency. So I apologize to you that as a it takes so long uh, in between the two consecutive sessions. Next time I'll try to come and continue with this discussion without, say, making as much delay as was made in this particular. I hope I've been able to introduce this subject, and we'll go a bit deeper into these talks and try to explain each of the layers. And after we have done this, then we'll see the relevance of what method of meditation should be practiced in order to be able to traverse through, to transcend all these layers and to go and meet and merge with the Supreme. So in this talk, we let it, say we call it a day here itself. Please let your views be known. Anything you would want or like to be explained, say better, or say some clarification is required, say I'll be too glad to receive those questions or queries, and will try to solve them to the best of my very, very, very limited ability. And if I am not, I don't have the answers to them, I'll very honestly and humbly admit that I don't know the answer. So thank you very much for patient listening. We'll see each other again next talk. Jai Guru, Vaheguru, Radha Swami, Satyaram Sar. Stay.